Hey buddies, welcome back to Eliza. We've started chapter 4. We're in some weird resort. I'm not sure what's happening. Let's begin. It's such a nice day. When did it get so warm? I thought it was still winter. There's a breeze from over the water making the leaves rustle gently. Everything smells nice. Why haven't I been taking advantage of this beautiful day? I should be out here walking along the waterfront. There's calm and peace and contentedness. Now I see how special this is. I think it wasn't always this way, but it's hard to tell. I know I was having problems at one point, but that was so long ago. When was that? I can't remember. This moment in time seems to stretch to infinity. It has always existed. It will always exist. Unchanging. Perfect. The surface of that lake is such a brilliant blue. A blue I could lose myself in. Forever blue.
Well, what do you think?
What's happening?
It was nice. It was like I could close my eyes and feel myself in another place.
So she was at One Mind. She was doing the psycho the dream simulation thing that One Mind is doing.
But I didn't completely lose awareness of the real world. It was more like a mental state that I was experiencing.
Remarkable technology, isn't it? I've had others who tried it tell me it's akin to a state of higher consciousness. Aware but totally serene, totally peaceful.
Soren retrieves a bottle of whiskey from a liquor cabinet and serves himself.
Here's a thought experiment for you. Say there was a certain medical procedure that could remove your suffering. No side effects, no cost, just an operation that would make you permanently happy. Would you get it? You have these philosopher types arguing you shouldn't do that because sadness and suffering are part of what it means to be human, or that the happiness you'd experience isn't real, so it doesn't count somehow. What a load of bullshit. If there was something effective at taking my pain away and otherwise harmless, I would take it immediately. I refuse to believe that being alive means having to suffer.
I don't think that's what the philosopher types are arguing. His voice is getting so ragged. How many drinks did he have before I came here?
Oh, forgive me, I forgot to ask. Would you like some scotch as well?
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
I think. Soren holds up the bottle, examining it.
Glencadam. Beautiful, light, luminous taste. Not peaty at all. Lovely stuff. Ah, if only psychotherapy worked as well as a single glass of well-made whiskey, huh? If alcohol wasn't poison, I wouldn't have to invent anything now, would I? I do think we did some good work at Skanda, but I always knew there were going to be limits to the Eliza approach. I was a counseling psychologist for a long time, you know. I understand the shortcomings better than anyone. So much of it can feel like a waste of time, talking through everything, dredging up the past over and over again, trying and failing to change our habits and routines. It's all going to look completely ineffectual compared to what comes next. With direct stimulation and induced dreaming, we can take control of our own brains in a way that's never been possible before. There's no reason we couldn't just eliminate this epidemic of despair for everyone in the world. Imagine it. Anger, depression, emptiness, anxiety, jealousy, every kind of unhappiness you can think of, obsolete. And to think Rainer wanted nothing to do with this.
He thought it was a bad idea?
He thought it was a bad idea.
Rainer's one of the ones who thinks negative emotions are important. He told me he thinks pain should be regulated, not eliminated.
So he's the philosopher types that he
After
doesn't
all,
like.
why would anyone write a poem or make art if they only felt happiness? He also said he was afraid of the way it would look in the media. A company as large as Skanda coming out with a product that changes the brain to make you happy.
Exactly what I'm thinking.
All the sorry excuses we have for public intellectuals today would throw a fit about how dystopian it looked to them. It's better if a small startup takes the fall, if public opinion turns against this technology. That's the kind of calculus he was doing. Those are the objections he claimed to have, at least. There's another one I suspect he had too, though. If people are self-sufficient, they don't need an ongoing support system. A system provided by an all-knowing, paternalistic presence like Skanda.
Wait, You think Raynor wants people to stay miserable, so they stay dependent on mental health services
Very
from
conspiracy.
his company?
Conspiracy-esque.
Yes. Yes, I do. It's quite the accusation, I know. Not something I'd come out and say in public. Not yet, anyway. But you see, the people who come to Eliza regularly, it's part of their lives now. The more they integrate with Skanda's mental wellness tools, the more they'd be adrift without them.
He's got a point.
That's the real dystopia, don't you think? Rendered helpless without the guidance of computer algorithms. Total dependency on the system. Excuse me for 1 second.
Soren hurries out the room for some reason, leaving me with questions echoing in my head. But I want my suffering removed completely. Is it better to leave it alone? Erland. Hey, do you think I could ask about Damien? He's the big boy, right? Yeah. And Damien is the person that we won't talk about? Like we haven't talked about so far? Sure. What do you want to know about him? Like, what kind of person was he? You want me to describe him? If you're okay with that. I don't want to make you if it's uncomfortable. It would help me to know what he was like. He was a brilliant software architect and engineer. One of the most sincere people I ever met. He believed people were fundamentally good and wanted to help them. A digital therapy project wasn't a mandate from management. We started it ourselves. Damien went through some difficult times himself. He wasn't able to get the care he needed. That's why he wanted to change things. Wish he'd gotten the chance. Did he, like, kill himself because he didn't want to see regular therapists? And it was like a Hail Mary trying to fix that? I see, thank you. This is going to sound weird, but sometimes when I'm working late and I doze in the office, I have dreams about him. I never met him in real life, but it's like I sense his presence there. Like he encoded himself into the system in some way. I know it's just my mind playing tricks on me. I don't believe in ghosts. Just ignore him after that. Okay. Soren comes back in the room and immediately pours himself another glass of whiskey. He doesn't seem to notice he's filled it almost all the way to the top.
I really think you, of all people, might understand what I'm trying to do here.
No, I doubt it. I get it.
I get it, but you don't think it's dangerous. You're essentially making technology that changes what people think is real.
Yeah,
Evelyn,
that's
you're
dangerous.
much more concerned than you used to be about this kind of thing.
In fact, I would not be surprised if... I guess I don't know the brain functions, but like, if you're intentionally changing with someone's conscious thoughts and replacing reality with like a dream state while you're awake, couldn't that like encourage like schizophrenia and those kinds of things? Like seeing things that aren't real in real life because your brain can't tell the difference anymore? I don't know.
I remember when you would dive headfirst into anything that held a promise, even a fleeting one, to help humanity. What changed your mind to make you so wary, so skeptical now?
Can I ask you something, Soren? What did you tell Damien?
Oh, this again. Don't tell me we had all of this wonderful conversation tonight and now you're trying to blame me for Damien. Who put you up to this? Was it Nora? Raynor?
I just want to know the truth, Soren.
Nobody thought we could do it. You remember that. There was skepticism from day one. I had to defend us constantly from other project managers who didn't like that we existed, who wanted our budget and resources for themselves. Some of those were vicious, vicious fights. Amid all that, I had to be a leader, too. Part of that meant giving everyone on the team accurate information. So I was honest. Honest in saying there were forces that sought to kill our project. And I was honest when I said we'd never survive if we didn't have something to show for our work. That was the reality. Without a product, we would be nothing. A guy like Raynor has access to anything he wants. If your pitch and demo isn't in the top 1% of what's out there, why would he be interested? That's what we were up against.
So many mornings, I would get into work and see Damien there. At first, I thought he was getting up earlier than me, but then I noticed he was still wearing the same shirt from the day before.
So he like scared Damien into thinking his like dream project, like his project that he wanted to become a reality, was never going to get off the ground because of Raynor, and scared him into essentially running himself to death, just constantly working.
Then, one morning, I got in and...
Did he die from overworking?
Please.
Like a heart attack?
I wanted everyone on the team to be healthy. I think that's so obvious it doesn't need to be said, but I'll say it now. If you think I was deliberately trying to harm him, did I instruct you to work until you injured yourselves? No, absolutely not. It was a tragedy, and I'm very sorry that it happened. I wish it hadn't, but I wasn't telling Damien to pull all-nighters. He was an adult. He made his own decisions about how he was going to work. And besides, what about your role in all this? If you noticed him not taking care of himself, you could have mentioned it. None of that behavior was unusual for Skanda anyway. It was part of our reputation, part of the culture. There isn't a single cause you can isolate in a case like this.
Sitting in one place for too long. Chronic stress. Both of those are risk factors.
Evelyn, I'm truly, truly sorry about what happened to Damien. He had a bright future, and it was a shock to all of us. But the answers here aren't simple ones. Dwelling on it isn't going to bring him back, nor is discussing the huge number of potential causes of pulmonary embolism.
That's a heart attack, isn't it?
Happened.
It's similar.
It felt like everything
Or is it like a
stopped.
stroke? Or like a...
All of the work we were doing might as well have crumbled into dust.
I gotta look that up, because I actually have no idea. A blood clot?
We were trying to build something to help the world, and we got lost along the way. What was the point? There didn't seem to be a point any longer.
I know that you cared about him. The process of grief can go on for some time, but you're taking the right steps. You're regaining your sense of purpose, aren't you? The experience of suffering is what makes us want to end suffering.
The fact that Soren's such like a skeevy person and also a psychologist, and so knows how your brain works, is terrifying to me.
It's late and I've had quite a bit to drink, so I'll tell you a secret, Evelyn.
Like, he could be just telling me everything I want to hear to forgive him, right?
I said I want to end human suffering, which makes me sound very altruistic, but I'm not doing it for humankind. I'm doing it for myself. I have nothing. I've ruined every relationship I was ever in. I hardly ever see my kids, and, well, they hate me anyway. I want to end my own suffering, but I can't bring myself to do it the traditional way. That's why I pursued this technology. That's why I want it to exist. The idea that everyone else could use it too, it's just a bonus.
So,
I'll ask if he's okay.
Are you okay?
Because I reckon he blames himself. I reckon he does blame himself. I mean, if it's probably not his fault technically. He scared Damien into doing it, but...
No, not at all. I'm aware of that. I'm not a good person, Evelyn. Neither is Raynor, of course, but at least I'm honest with myself about that. So, now that that's all out in the open, you probably want to head home before it gets too late. Don't let me keep you.
Yes, I'll get going. I hope you can feel better.
No, I'll be fine. Just, please, consider it, Evelyn. You and I are both more familiar with pain than we might wish to be. What if you could take that away? Each of us has a destiny to fulfill. I truly believe that. I'm sure yours will come into focus soon.
It's weird, they gave him very kind eyes for someone that's supposed to be, like, looking skeevy, which I guess says something. Somehow that conversation ended up being very draining. The promise of that new technology really all that keeps him going? Back on the bus, train, this is the first thing we saw, and it's this is the next time is this gonna be, like, the end chapter? Surely not. I think I've seen this person before. Must have a similar commute. Did we see him? Maybe he works at Skanda too. Sometimes it feels like the whole city does. I don't know if I remember him from the first train. He's watching something and smiling to himself. The phone tips in his hand, allowing me a glimpse of the screen. It's a cat video. Nice. Okay, what's the phone say? We got proxy email. Mark. Well, everyone, today's my last day at Skanda. What can I say? It's the end of an era. When I joined this place, it was just a hope, a dream, a vision. To stop, look back, and see how much we've accomplished in the last 2 decades is mind-boggling, to say the least. Those of you asking where I'm headed to next, the answer is nowhere yet. I'm going to spend some time with my family before I think about my next act. It's a different world out there. Wait, is Marcus... No, Mark Forrest. Is Mark Forrest the other guy who worked at Skanda that we did the therapy with? And we have a new whatever this is. There's no need to rush. Is that it? There's no need to rush. Nice. It's funny because I literally just rushed. It's like they wanted another game in here, but they only show Solitaire. And Zenny. Unfortunate. I really wish there was other games I could play. Okay, well, I think that'll be it for this episode. We do seem to have kind of like a around about the perfect time for an episode in each little section of the chapters, which is nice. Yeah, I will see you in the next one. We're probably going to, I'm assuming she's going home. She's going to go get some sleep. It's going to be a very small section. And then we're going to go to Skanda and be on the hot seat with someone else talking to us. I wonder if we get to actually see the person talking to us, or if we get to see Eliza, or if like we see Evelyn talking and Eliza, like through Eliza's eyes. Unsure. So I will see you guys in the next one. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. Check out my other videos. I do lots and lots of things, but at the moment, visual novels, lots of streams. So Age of Mythology is being uploaded at the moment. We've got some Barrow Trauma getting uploaded at some point. Blasphemous is getting uploaded at some point. And I stream Call of Duty pretty much every other time, aside from those games. So I will see you there. Twitch.tv/epicaraxy. Yeah, Bunny out.